Good morning. I wanted to say good afternoon, and it's almost there. My name is Carolyn Motley, and I'm with the Cannon County Chamber of Commerce, and you are watching the Cannon County Chamber Connection. And of course, that is brought to us by DTC with our thanks. Great opportunity for our businesses and also the events in Cannon County for them to let you know about what's here and what's going on. You know, we've had these 90-degree days, and I've waited all winter for this. But I went to some events on Saturday, and I thought I was going to die because it was so hot. But I'm not complaining. Now, I gripe all winter, so I'm not going to complain. I did attend the yard sale around Cannon County this last weekend, and that was very interesting. I think I made one lap around the courthouse. And then I thought, I'm going to have to go lay down or do something because it was hot. But it was nice. It was nice. Gazaway had their homecoming, and I haven't heard one complaint, so I'm assuming that it all went well also. And we had lots of people in town for a lot of different things, and that's the way we like it, so everybody had a good time. I do have guests with me today, and of course, the first ones we're going to talk to is going to be Ethan Stanfield and Katie Gunner. And they are both with Benchmark Physical Therapy, and they are a new member to the chamber, and we do welcome them. And I take it that you are Ethan, right?
That's correct. Good guess.
Okay, Ethan, tell us a little bit about what you do.
So I am the physical therapist and clinic director at the Benchmark Physical Therapy in town. We're at 201 South McCrary Street underneath Woodbury Medical Center. And we do outpatient physical therapy. The main things that we see and most common things we see are neck pain, low back pain, sciatica, all the things that everyone gets. But we also see post-op patients, so total knee replacements, total hip replacements, shoulder surgeries, rotator cuff, just about anything. And we also do some dizziness and vertigo and concussion treatment as well.
Okay. And somebody has to be referred to you, right?
It depends on the insurance. If you have a federal insurance like Medicare, TRICARE, Medicaid, you typically need to go see your doctor first. But if you have a commercial insurance like Aetna, Blue Cross, Cigna, something like that, typically you can come in because Tennessee is a direct access state, and we can look at you without going to see a doctor first.
Okay, well, that's what I was going to ask you. If I had a pain,
right,
and I didn't want to go see the doctor, and I know where the pain's at, I can just come in there?
Yes, ma'am.
And you'll bill my insurance? Mm-hmm. Will my insurance pay without me seeing the doctor?
More than likely. It'll depend on your particular plan that you have, but we could get that figured out whenever you come and see us to make sure that they would cover it, and if they don't, we would just have you go see a doctor first.
And I'll bet your doctor would have hurt feelings if you didn't go see him before coming to see going for physical therapy.
Some doctors do get a little upset.
I bet they do. I would think so.
Most of them are pretty cool, though. We like everyone in town.
I imagine like the workers' compensation. You get injured on the job, or so to speak. Those type of doctors probably are the ones that are the most upset.
And we do see workers' comp, but if you do have workers' comp, you will see a doctor first before coming to PT.
Because if you skip that step, you're in trouble with your insurance.
Yep, and with workers' comp.
Yeah.
So.
But then, like I say, if you have a pain, you can still go up there and see.
Yeah. We'll treat just about anything, and we offer dry needling as well. That's a specialty service that we do.
Oh, wait a minute. Now this is something I haven't heard about. Dry needling, what does that mean?
Yes, ma'am. So what we do is called trigger point dry needling, and we take an acupuncture needle, so very thin, very flimsy, and we find a muscle that's causing some pain, and we stick the needle in it to try and get to decrease some pain. And it's
Yeah, that
usually
would make
pretty
me quit
effective.
hurting.
Yeah, because now you're thinking about being stuck with a needle instead of the pain that you're having.
That's exactly what I was thinking.
Yep, it's very beneficial. We do it on quite a few patients. Get good results from it.
Well, I do know that a lot of chiropractors will use acupuncture as well.
So,
Never had that done, but
if you want to do
okay,
it,
I'm going to
you know where
take
to
your
find
word
me.
for it. I'm going to take your word for it that this is a good thing. And you did bring someone with you, and you are new to
Yes.
Benchmark, right?
Yes. I just started Monday. I actually got my license today.
Well,
So-
there you go.
I'm going to be a new PTA there, and I'm excited to get started. I've just been training this week, so I
Okay.
figured I'd tag along with Ethan and
Well, that's all right.
see what everything's about.
People come in there, they want to say, hey, I seen you
Exactly.
on DTC.
On
so-
DTC.
Now, before this taping happened, we might want to mention, we asked Ethan, you know, who's in charge of the office, what's happening. Now we understand why she's here. It's because she just got her license today, and Ethan doesn't want to unleash her on any patients just yet. That's what the story is. Okay.
We'll
Now,
wait until next week.
next week, okay. So how long, what made you want to get involved in?
In physical therapy?
Yeah.
So I was actually in nursing school for a year before deciding to go to physical therapy school or PTA school, and I enjoyed it. I always knew that I wanted to help people out in a way, but when I was in nursing school, it just wasn't something like I loved. I enjoyed it, but there was just something that kind of drew me away, you know, and I've always played sports growing up and stuff like that, so I got, you know, thinking about physical therapy, and I looked into it and found a school near me, applied, got in, and loved it ever since, never looked back. So I'm very thankful that I changed my path. But yeah.
Emptying bedpans would have made me change mine.
Well,
And she still gets to stick people with needles, so, I mean, it's all good there, yeah, so.
my
Yeah.
mom and sister are both nurses, so it was in my family, and I just kind of felt like, oh, that's what I have to do. But then whenever I started, like, you know, doing it in school, I was like, I don't know if this is for me. So I looked into other options.
Well, that's all right, because all of these are needed, right? Mm-hmm. Do you have a hard time finding physical therapists? I mean, other than yourself, to work?
Out here in rural areas, yes, because no one wants to come work in a rural area. They all want to be in the big cities. And so it's easy to get physical therapists to work in Murfreesboro and Nashville and really even in McMinnville. And it's easy to get students to go out there. But a lot of people, one, just don't know that we're here. And two, they are like, oh, I don't know if I want to go to Woodbury because I've never heard of it. I want to go to Murfreesboro.
Well, I think you had a physical therapist that was in Benchmark before you came along that ended up going to Murfreesboro, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, so,
I
yeah.
believe so.
Well, I don't understand that, because we have a Domino's now, and they deliver.
Exactly.
So I don't know why you would have to
But
be.
hopefully
don't
nobody
need
gets
anything
hurt
else.
on a pizza delivery, okay?
Well, you never know. Well, I hope that, where do you live?
I live here in Woodbury.
Oh, well, good.
Yep.
Just recently, or have you
No,
always
I've
lived
lived here since I was in about 5th grade. I moved
So
from
you knew
Cookeville.
what you were getting into. Okay.
Yeah.
Hey, that's all right. There's nothing like it. I thought the same thing when I moved here. I grew up in a real small town, and I always thought, I will never live in another small town. Well, I lived in a lot of big towns, and I could hardly wait to get back to a small town.
I know, I love it.
And now I wouldn't go anywhere else. I wouldn't. How about you? You live in a big town, don't you?
I live in a big town, but I also live here too, still,
Okay.
with everything
I
that I
know
do
you're here all the
Yeah,
time.
I'm here all the time, so I might as well live here.
And I didn't introduce him, and I should have at the first. Of course, you see him
Everybody
every
knows
month
me.
too.
Everybody
Not
knows who I am.
everybody. This is Keith Reedy, and he also works for the Cannon Courier. So, you know, if you're into something you shouldn't be, he's probably going to put it in the paper along with a picture of you. So
Just wait till
behave.
just wait till the booking report comes out this week.
Oh, I don't even want to hear that. We don't have problems.
Actually,
here
we've
like that.
had a pretty good week. There wasn't that many people booked this week.
Well,
So
good.
we've been on a good behavior this week,
Good,
so that's good.
I think. You know, I did have a gentleman call me, well, actually, he called me yesterday at the chamber, and he was wanting to know if Cannon County could handle an influx of 1,000 workers. And when I got through laughing, I told him,
Hung up on him.
no, he wanted to know what kind of housing we had available, which is close to zero, and how many motels and hotels we had. And finally, he said it was for a big project that was coming, and I said, when you tell me a little more about this project, I'll be glad to tell you what we have available. Well, he wouldn't tell me what the project was. So right away, I'm thinking, okay, there's another rock quarry, except they won't need 1,000 workers to be there. So he called me back today, and I told him I thought we were not in the category he was looking for, because we have 8 hotel rooms, and most of them are filled up. And he said, you don't have any apartment houses? Or I says, yes, but they're all filled up too. I says, let me put it to you this way. I says, when homeless people come here from Murfreesboro and they end up going back, that's got to tell you something. There is no place for that here. You know, there isn't.
If I'm speculating, I'm probably thinking it's going to be the big building project in Murfreesboro, because if you're looking for apartment houses, that means you're looking for a long-term stay.
No, what I did get out of him, and he didn't tell me what it was, and that always makes me skeptical. If you're afraid to say what you're going to do, what the big project was, he said it would be near Tullahoma. Well, 1,000 workers, this has got to be big. You know, and we couldn't accommodate 1,000 workers. We don't even have that many homes for sale. Mainly that is because Cannon County is a nice place to live. So people don't move out that often, regardless of what you say. So,
I've never said anything bad.
no, I know you didn't. Where are you from?
I'm originally from Murfreesboro.
Okay.
Right now, I live in Centertown, and I've lived in Knoxville and Memphis. So I've gotten a good taste of big cities and the small towns, and I prefer the small towns.
All right. Like I say, we got a Domino's down, and they deliver
Exactly.
anywhere in the county. I even see them out in Smithville. I don't know that they realize they're in Smithville, but I do see the car out there. Is there anything else you want to tell me about your business?
Not that I can think of.
Give them your address and a contact number.
Okay, so we're located at 201 South McCrary Street, right underneath Woodbury Medical Center. And our phone number is 615-563-5520. And if you have any questions about whether or not it's something that can be treated, if you need to go see a doctor first, you can either stop by the clinic or you can give us a call and we can talk to you over the phone.
Okay.
So,
And you stayed booked up because you had to
went to hire
run
Katie.
people off
Yeah, and I'm good at running people off. So
to be
hopefully-
able to come in here for 10 minutes.
Right. Yeah, we are pretty booked right now, but since Katie started, it'll get a lot better. So we're excited.
Okay, and you do all types of physical therapy, broken bones,
Broken bones,
surgeries.
surgeries, sprains, weakness, strokes, whatever. If I don't know much
The
about
scary
it.
part of what you're telling me is I fit into some of those categories.
Well, you
I
may be a
don't
good
believe
candidate for PT.
I don't believe I've had a stroke yet, but who knows? We appreciate you joining the chamber. And
Absolutely.
we also appreciate you coming in here and telling us about your business. It is in an area that you wouldn't notice.
That's part of what makes it difficult.
It is. It is, but if you go to any of the doctors in that medical clinic, they know you're there, and I'd say the hospital and the other doctors in town know you're there.
Still have a barber shop next door to you?
Not
Or did they move
anymore.
out? Oh, they moved out.
So it originally started with the clinic on the left side of the building where
Yeah.
there used to be an Action DME.
Okay.
And then the barber shop was on the right, and now we have the entire basement of that building.
Okay.
And the barber shop moved to the square,
Gotcha.
so,
You gotta have that
Plenty of
room
room.
for when you have people running and everything, huh?
Exactly.
Riding bicycles,
running over me.
acupuncture,
Yep,
people running from
From the needle, yeah.
No, we do appreciate you coming in, and that's a very needed service.
yes, ma'am.
And Katie, we wish you luck.
Thank you.
And if you all ever decide to do anything new, let me know. You can come back in and talk about that too.
Sounds good.
All right?
Yes,
We
ma'am.
thank you for being here.
Thank you for
Do
having
you
us.
have any more questions?
No. I'm fine.
Okay. See you.
Thank you,
Y'all know
guys.
you're going to be movie stars now. They're going to stop you
Yeah.
in
We're
the
excited.
grocery store.
Thank y'all so much.
You're welcome. All right, Keith, what'd you do this weekend?
I sat at home because I didn't have a car. Car blew up. I'm coming to work to Cannon Courier offices on Friday. Friday's our deadline. And I make a right-hand turn right out of my driveway and poof. I didn't have far to walk.
Are you
Come back.
saying that it actually blew up?
No,
Or?
it didn't blow up. It just stopped and wouldn't start back again. So
Well, that's
I had to deal with that.
Close
and
to
work
being
from home
blown
and deal with deadlines and all kinds of good stuff.
well, all right. Now we have two new people here today, and these people are not new to Cannon County. We have Mr. Chuck Barber and Lori Williams, and they are with Middle Tennessee Electric. And of course, you really don't realize how much these people are needed until a storm comes by or something and your lights go out. And then you appreciate these people really well. Chuck, tell us a little bit about all the things that Middle Tennessee Electric does.
Okay. Well, I'm Chuck Barber. I'm the Government Relations Administrator for Middle Tennessee Electric. And we have a lot of different programs that we offer. But let me say this first and foremost. We love Cannon County. For me personally, it reminds me of the reason we started in the power business back in the 30s, you know, when Middle Tennessee Electric was formed. Fortunately for us, you know, we've got a board that represents all of the folks here, and Charlie does a great job. Some of y'all may know Charlie Bowman, but he does a great job representing Cannon County's needs. And the board itself's got about 12 members. As far as understanding who we are, I think you understand more about what's important to us. And what's important to us is not only making sure your lights stay on, but also be a part of that community we serve. Not many businesses nowadays, you know, are local. We have employees that live right here, that you folks that live in Cannon County see, and you know, at ball fields, wherever that might be. So we take a lot of pride in that, and that enables us to understand what that community's needs are. So in saying all that, a lot of the things that we do for Cannon County are pretty much supportive of the chamber, you know, support them in like the good old days and the car show, and obviously we try to keep in touch to see if there's any other needs that we can fill to support the town. But also we have programs that we're involved with TVA support. And some of those the county has reaped the benefit from. For example, the School Uplift program that I think it was Woodbury Grammar got awarded, I think it was $100,000 to help improve not only the school, but teach how to use electricity wisely and be energy efficient. And that is very important to us as well as TVA. So we were tickled that they won that. We also have programs that help folks that are in need. And, the times are tough, but there are some folks that are struggling to not only pay a mortgage, if that's the case, but also pay their light bill. And if you can make your home a little more energy efficient, then that might save that bill from being way up here to more manageable. So under some qualification guidelines, you can actually fill out an application and hopefully get awarded some money to help you insulate your home and cut down on your energy costs. For those who want to look at energy efficiency, we also have energy advisors basically that can come out to the community and talk to you about how you can save money and get your bills down. And they'll come to your home, no cost, and are willing to sit down and help you find ways to keep that light bill down. And if there are measures that need to be taken, we work with TVA to help you not only get that, but they have financing that's available to buy that new heat and air system that will bring the bill down, or get the insulation installed that will bring that bill down. So when Carolyn, when you asked me some of the things that we do as a company, I think probably what's most dear to us is how we work within that community we serve, because that is who we are, who we've always been, and we want to strive to make sure that our members are taken care of. So,
Very good. And do you still have I'm trying to think of what the name was, a community shares program?
Sharing Change.
Sharing
Yeah,
Change.
Sharing
Lori might
Change.
want to talk a
Yeah,
little
okay.
bit about that.
Sharing Change is Middle Tennessee Electric's foundation, and that is funded through members either rounding up their bills to the next dollar, or they can designate, I want to give $4, $5 a month added to your electric bill, and then that money is used to give grants to local nonprofits, and whatever is given in Cannon County stays in Cannon County. We keep that separated financially. So if you are donating, it comes back in the community, the county that the money was given by.
Well, I know several of our 501c3s have benefited
Yes.
from this, so I know that's true.
Yes.
And I do round off my bill for that. I mean,
Well, thank you. We appreciate that.
you know what, 50 cents, I thought, yeah, I can do this. And especially when it comes back into our community. And I've got to say, Middle Tennessee Electric, the chamber has one big fundraiser a year, and that's our car show. And they have been a loyal supporter of that in sponsorship for some years now. And we do appreciate that, and it's really grown into something that we may outgrow the square. I'm not sure, but that's okay. We'll deal with that when it all comes. And you know, when Chuck first contacted me about they wanted to be part of the community and everything, you know, I'm listening to him and to Lori when she came into it, and I thought, you know, you got to be careful what you wish for, because I can get you a whole list of things, but we do appreciate it. And just recently, we had an area that was hit by a tornado, the Reedville area, and of course, light poles, everything were knocked down. Many homes and businesses just destroyed. But I did have a person that owned a business in Reedville tell me how grateful he was to Middle Tennessee Electric, because they were down there and had the power back on. This happened in one night, and by that next evening, the power was back on to those that still had a home. And then they not only did that and worked that whole time, they came back in to help clean up because there was houses, lumber, everything laying everywhere. Now, a lot of companies, they didn't have to do that. They just did, and I know that for one, I think anybody in the community appreciated that, and especially in Readable. And I know this man that had a business down there was very appreciative. So, hey, I got to give him a clap on the back for that, because not too many people would do that if they didn't have to. And we do appreciate it, and I want both of you to know that and tell whoever you want to tell about that, because that was good. Now, Lori, let me go a little further into what you do. You have your own title, right?
Yes, I am the Special Projects Manager for Middle Tennessee Electric, and part of my responsibility is to build relationships with the chambers that are in our service territory and looking at ways that we can make the lives better for those that we serve.
Yes. And see, I think that's great. Keith?
I know a lot of people, you know, he just touched on it about neighbors, people that we know that work as employees
We
for Middle
do.
Tennessee Electric, and there are companies out there that, you know, they pride themselves on the way they treat their employees, and, you know, these Middle Tennessee Electric employees, I've not heard one complaint. You meet them at like career fairs, and they go into the schools and they present their companies, and they are just as eager and as enthusiastic about working for their company as they are in their presentations about the company. I know several people that work for Middle Tennessee Electric, both in Murfreesboro and in Woodbury, that live in both those areas, and they, you know, if there was a career that they could choose for you, it would be become a lineman, become a worker for an electric company, but not just any electric company. Come work for Middle Tennessee Electric, because you'll see how good it is. And that's, you know, and a testament to you guys is when your workers help clean up after that fact. You know, most people, they're supervisors, and, you know, would say, no, let's go. We're done with this. We're moving on to the next. No, they allowed those neighbors that we knew, you know, to have that effect. And boy, I tell you what, it really gave a positive effect in the community
Made a difference.
by itself about Middle Tennessee Electric.
Well, we are very fortunate to have our president, Chris Jones, who is probably the most servant leader that you will ever meet. And because of that culture that he has built, we all want to serve and do things like a cleanup in Readable, and to, you know, just when people are at their lowest point maybe in their life, that they've lost everything, just to have somebody there to know that they care.
And I'll even go as far as say this, when you talk about a company, you might assume that everyone there, that's part of their job, and getting lights restored was, but the folks that came out later on, I think, what was it, the 12th or somewhere right in there, to start the cleanup process, those were all volunteers. Every single one of them volunteered. So yeah, I mean, we're so blessed to have folks that work with us that get it, and that's what it's all about.
Well, you know, you've got to look at your linemen and everything. They are out doing their job in the very worst conditions. Because usually when they're called on, it's had a fire or a storm or something has happened where and it's usually not working hours. It's usually in the middle of the night where you can't hardly see, trees are down, lights are off, power's out everywhere. You know, I always worry about, just like with my son is on dialysis, and he does his dialysis at home by himself. And I thought, okay, if the lights go out, we're in trouble here, you know, but That hasn't been the case with him. However, there was a notice on his road that the lights were going to be out for a 2-hour period, you know, but he can arrange to do his dialysis before that happens or after that happens. So it's nice that they let people know if they know that's going to happen. But these guys work in the worst conditions. When they're called out, usually it is. And I don't think I've ever dealt with one worker and I've been several places where they've been called in, that they complain about anything. You know,
Some of them live to get up at that 2 o'clock in the morning and go out in the snow and ice and do their thing, you know. That's exactly right.
So when you see them out there, don't call and complain, well, I haven't had any lights. If you haven't had lights in a while, it's usually because there's a serious problem. And I guarantee you they're working on it.
And let me say this, if you do have lights out, and this is really a neat thing that you can go to kind of show you what we're dealing with in our county, all the counties that we serve, including Cannon County, especially when a big storm moves through, is if you'll go on our website at www.mte.com, you can go to an outage map, and the outage map is actually what even the media look at when they determine how many customers we have out. You can do this too, and you can kind of see what's happening and what to expect. And once those customers are restored, you'll see them come off and the numbers drop. So it's pretty neat, and that's one thing that we've been able to accomplish with the metering that we've installed, is we now have a much more accurate and the minute it happens type thing versus waiting on you to call us. So that's been a great plus for us to manage outages better. But you mentioned in the ice storm, Carolyn, or storms, years ago up on Doolittle Road, and it was probably in the late 90s, I think, if I remember right, I was asked to take some crews out and kind of show them where to go. And we were up there working. It was late, freezing. This was back when our office was up on the square, and I remember people coming out to our guys and saying, hey, you know, my power's been out, but I'm more than happy to make you a sandwich. and to me, that's when even our employees, it's not about necessarily pay, it's more about just being appreciated.
Right.
And the people here have been so kind, and I remember going back thinking, boy, you know, that's what community should be.
Well, it is.
Yeah. So anyway, I wanted to mention that because that meant a lot to me and the other guys. And
Well, I'm sure it does. You're out there freezing. You want some coffee.
yeah.
Some hot coffee.
Yeah. But anyway.
I was going to say, Carolyn, you mentioned earlier about your son being on dialysis. And we have where we can mark accounts that are medical. So if anyone has a situation like that you're on oxygen or have something like that, please call the office and we can get that account alerted to where we make sure that we get those, look at those to get those back on as soon as possible.
Well, I didn't know you had that, but that's very good to know because he does do dialysis every night. So,
Okay.
Yeah.
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 Be happy to get you set up with that.
Well, all right.
Yeah.
He will be too. Because I'm always worried about if this happens in the middle of the night, what then? You know, they've taken me to lunch twice, and we have talked about there being involvement in the community and them wanting to be a part of that involvement. And of course, like I say, the first thing I'm thinking is be careful what you wish for, because I have all kinds of opportunities I could give them. But I don't want to overstate. I don't want to wear them out right away, right at first.
But she is going to wear you out, yeah. There's the warning.
It's going to be a slow.
Catch those trigger words, yeah.
We can always always say no.
That may be the case here, I don't know. But anyway, there are some issues that they can help with, and they're glad to do it. And like I say, they've been a sponsor for the car show for years, and we always appreciated that. And they're members of the chamber, and we also appreciate that. So, when next time you see one of your electrical workers out there, don't go out and fuss to him, because he's there because he's doing this job. So you just go out and thank him and tell him you'd appreciate it if he'd hurry a little bit, but that you do appreciate it. Is there anything else y'all would like to tell us?
Just one thing, I want to remind y'all where our office is. It's down here at 911 West Main Street. Of course, again, I've been in the company a long time, and I remember the one up on the square up there, but our office is down there. As Lori said, we have a phone number that you can call and get in. It's 1-877-777-9020, and that'll get you to a customer service rep. But don't ever hesitate to go by the office and say, hey, as in Carol and Son, I need help. Can you help me out? Because they'll be more than happy to do that and get that taken care of. And that's the beauty of a small town. So,
It is.
yeah, so anyway, I wanted to mention that.
All right. Well, I didn't know that service was available, but I will do that because I do worry about that. I do think if this goes out in the middle of the night, I don't know what you're going to do then. But anyway, I'll take advantage of that. I sure will. And that's offered to anybody because I'm sure he's not the only one that has medical issues that could be helped if they knew that losing their lights would create a problem for them. So this is a good thing. And we're just proud to have them. All of our companies that work with our utilities and everything in Cannon County, I've got to compliment all of them because they do a good job. But I mean, for Middle Tennessee Electric, as big as they are, to reach out, I really appreciate that too. That doesn't happen very often. But we appreciate both of you being here today, and by all means, if there's anything else you'd like to explain to us or tell us, this is your opportunity, girl.
I was going to say, we mentioned earlier about sharing change, and Chuck kind of mentioned about, if you're having trouble paying your electric bill, maybe you've got some extra expenses, maybe you had a little physical therapy you had to have done this month.
That's right.
And but to please reach out to our office and ask for either maybe more time. And also another thing that the Sharing Change, our foundation, does is help people that need payment on their electric bill and stuff. That there's criteria that they look at, but we can help you. That don't let your power get cut off just because something's happened this month that you might not have enough money to pay it. And we also talked about Chuck mentioned the school uplift program, that we also have a program with the TVA for the home uplift, where we can, depending on your income, you may qualify to have up to $10,000 given to you as a grant to have insulation, windows, more energy efficient appliances, and stuff like that. So please just reach out to us if you have any questions that we could be of help to you.
I'm not going to tell my husband what you just said, because the last time Middle Tennessee Electric came out and gave us a tour of the house and what we could do to save on our electric bill. And one of them was they told him to be sure and do the insulation around the doors and the windows and all this. Well, he did do that. And he insulated the front door so well, I couldn't close it. I couldn't close it. I had to use my hip to close the door, and I thought, I'm going to break a hip trying to close my front door. And I says, I think you have too much insulation. And he goes, that cuts down on the drafts. And I says, okay. But if I get a little bit of air in here, is it going to hurt that much? Can you take some of this out? Well, we finally got a new door. And I was so proud because I can't open and close this one without getting help to do it. So
Now you can, with this new door. Okay.
I can close it. I'm real proud. But they did come out and do that. They went through and told us where we could save and everything, and I did appreciate that, except with the front door. And I thought, okay, this is a little bit overboard right here, but all right. But that does save if you have them come out and look it over. And I believe at one time you could buy, I may be wrong on that, I was going to say you could buy appliances.
Yeah, used to you could,
Okay.
years ago maybe, but
This-
TVA has they're changing programs and there's bits and pieces of that when you define appliances of kind of what we could do.
Right.
That's only if you if your
Right.
income qualifications
Right.
are low enough that.
Well, I would say
appliances-
all of these issues right there, it's going to depend on your
Yes, ma'am.
your
Yes, ma'am.
income.
And it's more insulation and heat pump than
Water
anything.
heaters.
Yeah, water heaters.
Maybe
yeah.
that's what I was thinking.
When you're thinking of
I think
appliance.
we got a water heater
Yeah,
one time.
yeah.
I went through that.
One thing I'll say too, you alluded to it earlier, and is the fact that we sponsor the car show here. And for those of you that keep up and the trends changing toward electric vehicles and all, we have what we call the EV Car Club. It's Electric Vehicle Car Club. And if you own one and you would like to be a member, we encourage that. And we've actually got an event in Williamson County at our Franklin office off of Edward Curd Lane. And Lori, do you know what time that
That'll
starts?
be 9 to 12
9 to 12?
on Saturday. We'll be having some light refreshments, breakfast, and go around. And if you're interested in an electric vehicle, to see what they are and just get more knowledge about it.
Yeah,
You don't have to have an EV to come.
And we usually have, gosh, what is it, 100, 200, 300 people show up. There's a real interest in that now. So.
Well, I think eventually, maybe not in my lifetime, but there's going to be a time when electric vehicles will be most of the, if they ever get charging stations.
Yeah.
That's the problem right now, I think, with electric vehicles is there's not enough, not just in the county or the cities, I mean nationwide, enough charging stations
Right.
to accommodate them right now, but I'd say there will be.
That'd be a new
Yeah.
category for our car show, Electric Vehicle of the Year. Or
There you
Well,
go.
we could
Best
do that.
electric vehicle, there you go.
Yeah.
We could do that. I'm always up for new things. That's fine.
We could give a trophy in the,
Electric car category.
or like in the charging car station frame, like a model of a car.
I know
Never
what you're
mind.
talking about. I haven't seen one yet, but I can probably hunt one up somewhere. We'll work on that, Keith,
Okay.
we will. But we do appreciate everything that Middle Tennessee Electric does for us. And I appreciate both of you taking time out of your busy schedule to come in here. But this is good for people to know.
Yes.
I mean, I think most people have a positive attitude about Middle Tennessee Electric anyway, but it's good to know what's available and that these people are willing to come in to the community and go outside the box, not just their job, but anything that is a problem with the community or wanting to get involved in the activities that we have. So we do appreciate that. And you're welcome to stay for the rest of the show. I've got some events to talk about, if you would like to.
Well, we may have to go get something to eat, Carol.
Well, all right.
Stomach's running down here, but thank you for the invitation.
You can do that
Thank you.
too.
Thank you for
Thank
having
you.
us. Yeah, we really
Thank you.
appreciate it. Thank you, DeKalb Telephone, for doing this. This is great, so.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, thank you very much.
All right, right now at the Art Center, we are having their summer conservatory. It has started, one of their junior sessions has already started, and it will last through, let's see, from 19th, no, it begins, the second session begins June 19th through the 30th, because the first session is filled up. And then the senior session, which will be grades 7 through 12, will be held July 10th through the 21st. And you can always contact the Art Center if you have a child that would, or student that would be wanting to take these classes. They're going to teach you to dance, sing, act. There are all kinds of things. They play games. So, yeah, this is a good thing, and if you're interested in any of your kids going to that, just contact the Art Center at 615-563-2787. And then their next musical will be on July 7th, and it runs on weekends through the 22nd. And it will be the School of Rock. And that is a musical, and they're already practicing for that. So that ought to bring in a big crowd. The shows are on Friday and Saturdays at 7:30, and then a matinee at 2 o'clock on Sundays. So call and get tickets for that too. 4th of July fireworks show is going to be on the 4th of July, which is a Tuesday. It's going to be at Dillon Park. It's presented by the town of Woodbury and the city of Auburntown. And plus, there will be other sponsors that will get in on this too. And there'll be food vendors and music. And we'll be starting probably about 3 or 4 o'clock at Dillon Park, and then that will run through till the fireworks show starts at dark. So, do you know any more about that, Keith?
Not yet. I think the Moortown Volunteer Fire Department is still going to do the fireworks.
They are.
and
Last year they did a great job.
They've got their
They did.
pyrotechnic license,
They
which means
do.
they can shoot off the bigger ones, and they had a pretty decent show last year.
They
in
sure
regards
did.
to that, they brought some bigger ones out, and they'll do that again this year. So, should be a fun time as always.
The only thing I caution you about, it is a great show, but if you go and park around Dillon Park, you also have the ambulance service, the sheriff's department, the health department, and a factory over there, and you can't block their entrance in and out of those, especially the sheriff's department and the ambulance service. So when you park, don't park in their driveways or in their parking spaces, because they need those.
Now, for the factory, though, they are allowing people to park in the field
Right,
in between
there
the
is a
factory
field
and
next to
the
it,
sheriff's
yeah.
department. So you're more than welcome to park there
But like lining up on the sides of the street, parking is at a premium over there, it really is. But just make sure you're not blocking any of the access so the ambulance can get out or the sheriff's department can.
And just like any activity as well, any big attended activity, be courteous to your fellow drivers when you're arriving and leaving.
You're right.
Don't try to run people over and run cars over and let your neighbor merge with you to ensure a smooth traffic flow.
That's right.
Which has never happened, but we can always try, can't we?
Well, the thing is, you don't want to tear up something trying to get out ahead
That's
of
right.
everybody else. So it's not going to take you that long to get out of Woodbury anyway. So
Right.
just slow down and behave. Okay, next thing, our next cruise in will be June 24th, and it's 4 to 7. All cars and trucks are welcome. And thanks to our sponsors, which are DTC Communications, Moonlight Drive-In, O'Reilly's Auto Parts, and Shelter Insurance. And those are the ones that sponsor our cruise-ins every year, and they begin in April. And the last cruise-in for this year will be in August, but the car show will be in September. And I will tell you, our July cruise-in will be the toy drive cruise-in. So if you come to that cruise-in, you bring a toy, so the kids can have something at Christmas time. And then the Woodbury Lions Club, July 1st, will be the award-winning one-night walking horse show, and you will see some great walking horses in this show, along with a lot of specialty classes. It will be at the Horse Show Arena at the old fairgrounds, and the gates will open at 5, and you'll enjoy walking horses at their best, because these are some of the same horses that will show in Shelbyville. And then you can also enjoy great concession items, such as country ham sandwiches. I believe they're including barbecue this year. And they may have homemade desserts. I have ordered 250 fried pies that are homemade, and ice cream, and box seats are available. So if you're needing a box seat, you can call the chamber, and I'll give you Lois Larimer's number where you can call and reserve your box seats. And do you have anything else that's going on, Keith?
Well, as far as the Woodbury Lions Club, I'll be out there, and we'll do a live video broadcast of it, so the people in the Pemberton Arena can get ready and the classes can move along a little smoother. So, but I also might want to mention bring an umbrella too, because I don't know if I've been to any of the Woodbury Lions Club horse shows. It's kind of like good old days where it didn't rain. That's right. But I got my plans to put a little tent up and keep me sheltered, I guess, as we do.
Hey, you ought to have fried pies and ice cream
There
and
you go.
cakes.
Hey, bring it on over. We'll have a table.
When it rains, trying to cover all them up where they can get drowned.
Get the tarp out.
But it's okay, we've done this. Hey, it rained so hard one year, we packed up what we could and moved to Shelbyville, because we were going to have to cancel the horse show here because our old horse show arena was flooded. And we just threw things in vans and cars. Excuse me, the only thing was, when we got out there, we did take a freezer and the ice cream, but I forgot the desserts. I left them at the Lions Club building in Woodbury, but hey, we had a horse show and it was a pretty good one.
Yeah, the thing is that everybody was sitting out there going, wonder when they moved, because they moved at the last minute, I mean,
We did.
the day of. And you're thinking, okay, well, there's not going to be that many people show up. There's not going to be that many people participate. No, wrong. You had a full house.
Yes, we did.
And then on top of that, it was just amazing to see all the horses that, they moved along right with you. Didn't skip a beat. So.
Well, a lot of them were showing in at Shelbyville, and they had the barns and everything to keep them, And we had a covered arena, but yeah, that was, I hope we don't ever have to do that again, because it was a lot of moving and everything, but it was one of our better horse shows, that one?
Yeah, sure was.
So we're hoping, and that's the main fundraiser for our Lions Club, and our Woodbury Lions Club does a lot of good things in the community, so we try to support them as much as we can.
Of course, when it comes closer to school time, we'll have the We Care Cannon. They had an event that gives school supplies out to the kids. They had an auction and a fundraiser this past week, and did really well. In fact, today, and this is something I know we're on a time related type of thing today here in just a little while. The 100 Women Who Care, and we might talk to them, try to get them on a future show to tell the community what they're about. The 100 Women Who Care organization is going to present the We Care Cannon with a check because they voted them in for the quarterly fundraiser activity that they do, so they got to do that. So that's today here in just a little bit. They'll be presenting a check. And
Hey, that's a great thing. I mean, when we say they give the kids everything, and it doesn't matter what your income is, they give the children everything they could imagine to start school, from socks to any of the pencils, paper, notebooks, everything. They have it, backpacks, and they have it according to what grade you're in. So they've done that for years, and I can't think of a better thing than that We Care Cannon.
And we want to give a shout out real quick to William Freddie Curtis, Director of Cannon County Director of Schools.
Yes, we
he
do.
retires at the end of this month, June the 30th. It'll be his last day, and then welcome in the new Director of Schools, Bonnie Patterson, who will be taking over July the 1st or June 30th, whichever way you look at it. And I know she'll do a great job,
She will.
outstanding.
Bonnie's been with us since she got out of school.
Yeah, well, she was in school.
I know.
Since she was school eligible, let's put it that way.
That's right. That's right.
But that's all I got.
Okay, well, we just want you to visit our county. Don't wait for an event. We have plenty of things for you to do here as far as for shopping. We have great places for you to eat. Just check us out. We have a new website, and this is a new chamber website. Be sure to go on there and look at it. It's very impressive. And it is at canontn.org. You can also go on the Cat Chamber Facebook page and see things that are happening in Cannon County too. And we hope you have a great time this summer and a safe summer. And thanks for watching.